You know me? Of course!
Kennet. Hello. My name is Enji, Millie, and Mythlica.
I'm Dan. Dan the man.
Giselle. Hello.
Win.
Cross.
Igua.
Matthew. Rufia.
And they are a part of...
The Belagarth Medieval Combat Society.
Yeah, boy. Every time, man.
Alright, cool.
Is this your first time here at RONIN EXPO, or?
Yes. Actually, no, this is all of our first times at RONIN, but her first con at Europe. Yes. So, yeah, we've been doing cosplay. We've been doing cosplay for about 5 years now.
When was, how did you guys find out about RONIN?
About RONIN? I think from last year, actually, we like to go watch the core dance group perform, and we heard that they were there last year, but we were just like, where is that? And we learned about it too late where it was, so we're like, okay, we're determined to go to it next year.
And we are here at RONIN EXPO, and she's going to talk about her experience, her likes, her dislikes, and how she forgot my name. So
I said I was sorry. I'm really happy.
it's okay, don't worry about it.
Well, what is your name?
We just went over it. This is your first, second, third, fourth RONIN.
Honestly, I've lost count. I've been here since NinjaCon. It used to be a different name back then, but now it's called the RONIN EXPO, and it's been our second year in RONIN EXPO right now. And it's been a really great experience, honestly. I'm actually a staff for RONIN EXPO, and I work with guest relations or guest of honor this year.
Okay, how was that? Any crazy guests? Any, you know?
We were really just a little understaffed, so we had to switch people in and out for guests, so that way they can get comfortable with their liaison, and each liaison can get a feel for each guest and meet them and greet them and take care of them basically.
How did you guys like this RONIN EXPO? Is this your first, second?
This is my second. I know Danny, so I've been going to before NinjaCon, and I really wanted to support his con, so I love RONIN EXPO. It's very chill, and it's in little Tokyo. It's like the perfect place.
Yeah, everybody's been saying, why not have an anime expo surrounded by Japanese culture, food, places? It's the perfect location. All right, Dad. Nice to meet you. Is this your first time here at RONIN EXPO?
This is my second year here.
Second year. How'd you hear about RONIN, the first time?
Well, I remember hearing about it when I visited CoastCon last year.
That is in Costa Mesa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, is that OCC? Okay.
That is correct.
Nice.
And I was told that RONIN EXPO is set to be replacing the former NinjaCon.
Yes, that is correct. She was my boss for the day. Very demanding, but she got it done. That's what I like about her. She got everything done, and she made sure everybody was safe. People did their stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much the most important part. You're like the glue. You're the glue.
You know what's the funny thing? A lot of people were telling me that, and I'm like, listen, they told me that I needed a position where all I had to do was yell at people. I'm like, oh man, I'm down. I got that. That's easy. I could totally do that.
Yeah, who doesn't like to yell at people, right? It's the better. So, tell me how you got involved with RONIN EXPO.
Well, this is actually my first RONIN EXPO, my first time doing it. I have known Danny Gonzalez for a while. He was actually helping me and my boyfriend start out with our own convention. We do CoastCon over in Costa Mesa. It's a pretty small con. We just hit 1,500, which is it's not a lot for the con industry, but it's good enough there. And you know, we came to NinjaCon, and Danny was such a big presence that we're like, hey man, we need some help setting up our own thing. And you know, I help you, you help me. Victor and Danny came to me and said, hey, do you want to run con ops? All you have to do is yell at people, make sure things are doing good, and that's it. And I said, sure, sign me up. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to do it again next year.
The thrill, the rush. Now you don't get back to work. How did you guys hear about RONIN EXPO?
RONIN EXPO? Well, I actually know the chairman. His name is Danny.
You know, everybody's been talking about Danny today. We're going to get Danny today.
Yeah, Danny is originally RONIN EXPO was something called NinjaCon, and he just branched off and made his own con named RONIN EXPO. And when NinjaCon was a thing, I was friends with Danny. I met him through some connections, through some other people who are also influencers, like who also did a lot of convention work. So, because I was getting into the convention, I actually was one of the people who helped like start TitanCon.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
so,
we talked about TitanCon earlier today. We'll probably be there next week.
So, like, I was one of the original people who helped with TitanCon, and you know, naturally, I eventually started talking to like the other chairmen of other cons, and Denny was one of them. And you know, because we're friends, he just like hooked us up with a booth and a panel.
How many man hours? Woman person hours.
You mean a cosplay crunch?
Come on.
I think the shortest amount of time it's taken us to make a cosplay is like 2 days. Yeah, and that was this arm. And actually the leg. We did it in different days. But on average, I think like 2 weeks for a particular like nice. And we don't like spend like all day in London. It's like yes, we take a couple hours out of our day to be like sometimes a couple more hours out of it, so that we can like really focus on like certain areas. So it's not. Trying not to get focused like we are, but always every year. We're now experiencing con crunch a lot more often than we thought. Yeah. On average, 2 weeks. But actually, for this cosplay in particular, for the beach theme, we wanted to go for something really original, and so we actually planned this about 2 months ago, and we sketched it out to see what we wanted to do, how many people we wanted in it. So we really planned it for this event, and so.
We try to get as many of our friends to fill as many Full Metal Alchemist roles as possible. And you know, throughout the 2 months or whatever of planning, we had different people like swapping in and out of roles. Yeah. Like, you're Roy Mustang. No, you're Roy Mustang. You're not going to be Ling? That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's Winry?
Roiann. Winry like 2 days ago. Yeah, actually, last minute. So like, I was like in my finals, and they're like, "You want to be Winry?" And I was like, "Okay."
What's one of the things that you always look forward to here at RONIN EXPO?
I don't know why, but I'm always driven to help out this expo. I really like volunteering, or like, you know.
It's very close to home there now.
Yeah, it feels very much like home. You know, the people here, the staff are all really friendly. Like, we get stressed, but we all do it for our community, and we want everyone to have fun, and that fills us with joy and motivation for this like convention to keep going every single year. So yeah.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and Danny
a
tears.
lot of sweat. It's been really hot today. Yeah.
It's been hot today. What are you guys cosplaying today? Just
We are cosplaying from Hoseki no Kuni, otherwise known as Land of the Lustrous. I'm cosplaying as Padparadscha.
I'm cosplaying as the main character, Phosphophyllite. And I'm cosplaying as Euclase.
At first, when I found out that NinjaCon was canceled, I was really pissed off because I wanted to add like that as one of the all the lists that I wanted to go, list of cons I wanted to go.
So you didn't go before the transition happened?
No, I wish.
Oh.
Because I wasn't fully into anime at the time.
Oh, okay. So when did you like really get indulged or like embrace it?
Embrace. Okay, growing up, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people have experienced Digimon, Pokemon, Monster Rancher, Yu-Gi-Oh. What really get me into anime was Avatar: Last Airbender, which of course is not anime.
It's not an anime, that is correct.
So I got into the show because of the movie, to be honest.
It's so bad though.
You can say that again. You can say that again, especially with the cast.
Yeah.
So long story short, I decided to watch the show before watching the movie, and then hearing a lot of bad things about the movie. So you know what? I'm just gonna watch the whole series then. Watch it, fell in love with it, and I was considering getting to Naruto, but it was too long. But I mean, no offense to them, I will watch it someday. But
there's like a fat chunk you can cut out and not watch, and it still makes sense. So don't worry, it's all good.
And I was at school at the time, so I wasn't able to invest. And then it wasn't until in 2016 when I found out that there was gonna be a live action version of Full Metal Alchemist made by the Japanese, which is kind of a good thing. But I had this feeling, all right, I'll do it. I'll watch the show. And then since then, I'm so fully into anime mode.
Another topic is that do you actually like cosplay at all, or?
Yes, I do. I was planning on wearing a costume today, but when I saw that the weather was going to say more than 80 degrees, was not going to do that. I usually like to keep my my cosplay characters to people like more of my height and my stature, because I'm very small, I'm 5'1". Okay. So I do characters like Aqua, for example, from Konosuba, she's only 5'2". Hinata Shoyo from Haikyuu, he's only 5'1", I believe. Who else? What is her name? Anzu Futaba, she's 4'8". So that's probably as short as I'll go. I was like, I'm not that short, but that's probably as short as I'll go.
That's good. So tell me a little bit more about what you guys do. How did you guys all meet up together? Was it like at a rumble at a bar, or
So what we do is it's like simulated combat with foam weaponry. But unlike other types of LARP, which is live action roleplay, this is more of a sport where we're competitive. There's rules to determine who wins and who loses, or who's killed and who's lived. And there's all kinds of tournaments and events, and there's practices all throughout the country, and especially in California, there's a ton of them. And we just all happen to go to the same area, the same practices, and that's how we know each other.
Okay, that's cool. So people that may not know what your cosplay is, can you guys tell them what your cosplay is?
You want to explain?
Sure. Yeah, the anime is Full Metal Alchemist, or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We did a nitty-gritty take on the characters, but the overall premise is theirs. It's a world where alchemy exists, which is, a variant of magic, but with very scientific-esque laws behind it. Yes, this is
my brother,
who literally exists as a metal person. Not a bucket in the show, but, beach and all that.
Yeah, so we wanted to take the concept of the main characters and stuff, and rather than just putting them in swimsuits and being like, oh yeah, of course it's Edward in his bathing suit. Yeah, we wanted to incorporate their outfits as they would be for like a beach episode, And so we realized that Full Metal Alchemist was one of the only shows that didn't have like a beach episode featured in it, like most do. So yeah, so we decided to do that, which is why my brother is a shovel and tail instead of full armor. So yes.
Usually every like event,
yeah.
That's different.
Well, it's a perfect thing to do in the middle of summer in LA. Because, you know, at average it gets up to over the hundreds. So we have to think of something that's both efficient and that we're not going to die sweating in. So.
And we got off topic. Characters, who are you?
Yes.
I am Hughes, and I love my daughter more than anything in the world.
Oh my god. And I play Edward Elric, and the main character, the dude, yes, he loses his arm and his leg, and his brother, the tragic alchemy accident where he's trying to bring back his mother. So touching, but at a price. I play as Winry, and basically I'm the childhood friend of both Edward and Al. And as I grow up, the character ends up becoming a mechanic for Edward. That's why I'm wearing this. And because she's my mechanic, I just fell in love with her. Yeah, so there's a thing going on here. And I play Lust, obviously, if you can't tell by the tattoo. Basically, she's a homunculi where she was actually created by humans. Basically, just a science experiment kind of gone wrong, and her whole premise is to pretty much just annihilate all of the main characters in the story. But especially this guy. I'm a part of some very heartbreaking scenes, but you know, it's just part of my character. Yeah, so that's the 7 main characters are the 7 deadly sins. So
The 7 main villains.
Yeah, yes, sorry. So, I'm constantly lost. There's a camera nervous, okay?
It's a nice little con to go to get familiar with before you go.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun for my first one. So. Another one trending down the road is Anime Impulse. Oh yeah, we love that. Every January they have Anime Impulse at the Promoted Fairplex. It never. It's always awesome because it's you get 2 cons of it. But it's the Asian American Expo and anime. So you literally go from like, oh, here's all the anime weebs.
Oh yeah.
And then you literally like walk out a door and it's all like traditional like Asian like cuisine. There's a distinct line. There's a huge line. Like you know when you're
It's really cool though.
It is
all the food you can eat and all their specific performances from the traditional anime.
Besides RONIN EXPO, I know there's a couple more conventions coming up this year. Is there any more that you plan on attending?
Quite honestly, I don't go to many conventions besides volunteering for RONIN EXPO and going to Anime Expo. So I'm not very big on conventions just because I don't really have the income to go to every single convention here in California, which is there's a lot probably every other month there's an anime convention.
Every other month and they get very expensive. Travel, lodging, tickets, all sorts of stuff like that. So you guys are here and you guys hosted a panel. Is this your first time hosting a panel or?
This is my first time hosting. Also her. She's done
not my first time.
She's done
There we go. It's not your first rodeo. Cool. So what did you guys like about it? Was it like nerve-wracking or like?
It was a bit because we had technical issues.
a lot of technical issues.
But you know
mainly.
what? We got it fixed up by the staff. Like they were really great.
They were able to improvise. It wasn't exactly what we had wanted, but it was enough. Like the hospitality was really appreciated.
We had a small turnout, but it was okay because we had prizes, and I felt like I think everyone pretty much got like a prize. So
Okay, that's
it was good.
It's always nice to walk home with something in your hands. One of the things we've been asking a lot of people is like, besides RONIN EXPO, is there any other conventions you guys are going to be attending this year?
I've been thinking about it. There's a couple that have interested me. I am interested in the revivals of both Anime California and PMX, which are later in the year. And then of course I go to ALA. And I think the same thing for them too.
I usually, I just moved around LA area, so I used to only go to the bigger conventions such as Anime Expo and Comic Con. However, since I live close to the area, I've been able to go to these very only one-day events such as RONIN EXPO and Coastal Con.
Okay, that's great. So the big question is, AX,
Oh, yes, I'm actually going, yes, for day 3 only. I'm hosting one of the gatherings there, that's why I gotta go.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm part of the minority that still loves Anime Expo for what it is.
Okay. And Millie?
I'm going just for day 3.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, same thing.
I hear a lot of people that are like, they're not so hot about it no more. They're like Anime Impulse, ALA, all these other ones. But for some reason, it's just that Anime Expo is just, I don't know. I haven't been in years, so I wouldn't know. So.
I think part of the reason why Anime Expo has been less appealing is because it's gotten so big that the population control is starting to lack, and part of it is not so much it just comes hand in hand with the amount of people, and then also just staff experience. However, I believe that it will get better with time because conventions are starting to become way more popular. That people that
They're out in the
need to
public
adapt.
eye now. They're out in the public eye.
So yeah, you guys would say that like nerd culture, anime, comics is like on the rise. It's becoming way
And it's
more.
a good and bad thing. It's very good because for the longest time, like for me, for example, I was the only one who knew about anime. I was the only one that appreciated cosplay and that sort of thing. And now because of it becoming more popular and people like me grew up to be adults and starting to run our own events, that you're starting to do a lot more networking and making friends along the way.
Yes, I think that's very important because I see that a lot of people become like con buddies. And like, hey, I'll see you at AX, I'll say Impulse, California, all this stuff. And so it's just like meet up. And I think it's become a really like a social network for this type of genre.
Especially because people come from so far just to go to these events.
I've heard people come, they make that trip, especially like for AX, people fly out from like all over the States and stuff. And so it's been a real different thing.
So, for the viewers out there that don't know, what is your cosplay? Who are you cosplaying?
I'm cosplaying as Kasa Tokirigai, also known as Kirito.
From
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online. How long would you say it takes you to, make your cosplay?
I actually bought my cosplay outfits.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, and
Weapons as well too.
And there are times that I would need to update it closer to the original look of the costume as shown in the anime.
Cool. Would you ever consider making it from scratch?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm okay with making the weapons, but the clothing itself, I don't know. It's just
it's very demanding. It takes like a lot of hours to get the patterns, the fit right. And I know some people put in like tremendous like weeks in advance, and so it's very time consuming. So I don't know if you would be interested in investing in something like that, or
well, investing. I can, like I said, I can only do like a certain certain constructions on some weaponry as. It's just as long as there's not too much detail going on.
It's the detail where it gets very difficult.
Like for this, it would take a lot of time with all this the way it's been shaped up. And all that. It was just a simple sword or something that's that doesn't involve all these markings and all that stuff.
Yeah. I can see that.
Then I can go for it. I can go for that.
It's good. Besides RONIN EXPO and COSCON, like you said, is there any other conventions you're looking forward to?
TitanCon. Honestly, I was put on the TitanCon board for a bit, helping them out, and to be honest, I'm super excited for what they're gonna do. They have a lot going on for them. Yeah. They're always trying to expand and be really helpful, bringing in people from the outside community, so it's nice. And they're another Fullerton, Costa Mesa, it's only 20 minutes away, and I'm always going to support anyone who's in my local hometown. Yeah. I've lived in Orange County back over there my entire life. That's how it is. Mm-hmm.
I'm from Orange County too. He's from Orange County too. Hey, all right. It's interesting because TitanCon is it's a free non-profit organization and it's like a free convention, which is very, very different or really unheard of.
Okay, so the way I see it is COSCON is actually a free convention as well. And the way we decided to do it, and I believe it's the same way TitanCon is doing it, We don't want the money. We just want people to have a good time.
So it's just an
And
experience.
to be honest, the reason why we had even started CoastCon is because sometimes the traffic to LA can be pretty bad, and
I've heard, yeah, it is one of those bad things.
and it's just nice to do something around the corner of your home. And the fact that Cal State Fullerton is allowing them to do something great like this, bring someone not just from in the community but other people as well. There was people come from like Arizona, Texas, like it was great. I feel like a free con is something, what is it? It's very rare, so cherish it before they start charging. That's the only advice I can give.
So yeah, that's some great advice. And normally a con, ours was what, like $25, $30, something like that?
It was $25, yes.
Yeah, so which is not too bad, but others running up like hundreds of dollars and stuff. And that's not including like travel, lodge, and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, it probably took me like $10 in gas and then the $25 badge versus, it's $35 versus other cons right now, big names out there. If you don't have more than a $300 budget, you're probably only going for 2 days.
Yeah, it gets very expensive. But it's about the experience too, you know. You have to experience once to be like, yeah, no, not for me, or yeah, I might do it.
You gotta find your ground. You know what I mean? Some people like the smaller cons. I personally like the ones who are in the middle, close to home, and some people like the big extravagant ones, which isn't wrong. Also, it's like that's perfectly fine. That's where all the really cool things happen. To be honest,
get the big names.
Exactly. But if you don't want big names and you just want to hang out and have a good time, that's what the Los Angeles and Orange County cons are for. Just chilling.
There you go. And how long have you guys been established now?
As a
like the sport or the practice?
Or the organization.
Organization, yeah, that's a better.
Late 70s.
Yes, the organization itself actually has its roots back in early LARP. You know, and it came from those backyard people that wanted to hit each other with foam padded sticks. And first came a sport called Dagger here, which Belagarp was actually an off-branch shoot of. And since a lot of the rule set was based off Dagger, we can say that our history is at least like 30, 40 years old.
Wow, that's a long time.
It has been a long time. We are, if anything, and see, this is the misconception that a lot of people on the West Coast get. We actually are the newest part of the I guess LARP movement, where pretty much all the stuff has been dominated by the East. And now, like, it's just barely growing in the West. Although it's been here for a while now, like about 20 years or so, it's still been the newest and the more progressive part of our sport.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your chapter. How did you guys, get together and say, you know what, let's take this up, let's make our chapter.
We all didn't start. We all kind of came from different chapters. I was probably the one that started, like the one that we're representing today, Korriban. That was Stronghold, and that was started by I think Sound Black.
Yes.
Back in 2012. That's our practice in Anaheim, and I started in 2013. I think Daryl started in 2012, but at ECI, not this practice. We started like 2013, 17, I think. 2016.
Yeah, so a lot of people have came from different spots. Like, for instance, the question itself is a little more difficult to answer because we actually just recently merged our practices with another practice that practiced at the same location. And so from there, we've just been working together and bolstering our numbers as we go.
Well, that's actually really good.
And that was started by him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that honestly just got started through me and my friends wanted to mess around and we're like, hey, let's just go to a park. And now we average 20 to 30 people a week.
That's a good amount.
And because of our merge, it's like co-branding now, and it's sort of like two different aspects of the sport. The older part of our realm is the tournament, like the competitive aspect, and then the newer part of our realm, which is on Thursdays, is the noob-friendly practice. It's like a great introduction into the sport. It's like it teaches the basics and it teaches you how to get into it. And actually, that's how I started through this introductory type of practice.
That's good. You guys ever get a misconception for another character? For this, is there not often?
No, it's really not difficult to mistake Edward because he kind of stands out like a sore thumb.
like a sore metal thumb. It's helpful because of how popular this anime is. We're not something niche like Full Metal Alchemist. Like that used to be one of the things that was on everyone's mandatory watch list.
Yeah, if you were coming into the anime community, you had to watch like a handful of like animes. Full Metal Alchemist is one of those animes. So we're rooting and we're hoping that he will be recognized because it's been a really popular anime.
So big question. I think this is gonna be like the last question. Try not to fight close. So Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
I think that's unanimous.
Bro, ready? 1, 2, 3, Brotherhood. Except maybe the beginning of Full Metal Alchemist. So what you do is that you watch the beginning of just Full Metal Alchemist, and then like once it like cuts off where the manga should, like you know that, then you watch Brotherhood. I mean you can do and that way. You only watch Brotherhood. Then you only watch Brotherhood. Then you rewatch Brotherhood. And then you
just get to episode 64 and it's all over and you cry because all your friends go.
And then you do this to compensate.
Yes.
And you become them so they live on forever.
So why aren't you gonna go to Anime Expo? Because I've been hearing like, oh my god, Anime Expo, it's kind of been going downhill, and then there's Lion Con.
I don't know. It just became a tradition for me. Like I go to Anime Expo every single year, and I was about to break my record. My record so far, I've been to Anime Expo for almost a decade. I think right now it's my 7th year or 8th year of going to Anime Expo, and I just can't stop going there. It's just something I look forward to each year, where I can spend my days cosplaying as a different person, you know, play dress up and look very pretty for a couple of days, you know, and be someone else, you know, and find a group that you can really connect with and mingle with, you know, with the same interests.
What would you say is like the amount of time you guys put into a cosplay?
Oh, it depends with each cosplay. It depends on like the difficulty of the cosplay. This one didn't take me too long. It was just a simple like little outfit and then the wig. I would say it took me a couple days. But there are some cosplays that will take me longer than a month. Like I did a Tharja cosplay from Fire Emblem, and that took me, yes, like the entire month just to sew and like make all the Warbler all perfect.
Is it all because of like the little details you put into it?
Yeah, it's all the little details, and sometimes it's just even like planning like how the garment is going to work, like the pattern, because I always start from scratch. Sometimes I'll look up like references and tutorials, but I'll like try to figure out myself. So I think that's also kind of why it takes me a while.
There's nothing wrong with putting pride in your work, you know. Just one time you like to show it off, you know, be happy, you know. It's okay, show off a little, you know.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think of RONIN EXPO this year?
Like, I don't even want to leave.
You don't want to leave? Oh, I know. It sucks. Hopefully, you know, we can get RONIN EXPO to do like a 2-day thing. So
maybe like start on Friday.
Start on Friday and like on a Sunday morning, you know, kind of like the other things.
Well, or Sunday in the afternoon.
Something similar to that. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. But it's baby steps, so it's getting there. It's getting there. Besides RONIN EXPO, are you planning on going to any other conventions this year?
So, hell yeah, as far as anime conventions are concerned. Although I had attended WonderCon though, and LostCon, which is like which of the two that is like not limited to anime.
Mm-hmm. So that was WonderCon, right? It's very U.S. American comics, manga, movies, current TV shows for WonderCon.
Yes.
Okay, cool. What would you say is like one of the biggest misconceptions about LARPing or what you guys do?
That we're all role-playing nerds, you know. I think that's the biggest one, or like we're super into role-playing and they're like magic. Cause I always get asked that question: is there magic in it? Like, or are you a goblin? Do you have like special abilities? Like, can you throw fireballs? Because that's a different type of art.
Yeah, he's trying to say that it's very cringy.
If I could interlude, like, one of the most common things that I always hear about LARP or whatnot is that oh, isn't this like it's from the movie Role Models?
Exactly.
Everyone always points to that movie, and I'm sorry to say it's not exactly the same, but it's much more physical. However, I still have to say there are role-playing aspects in the sport. There are people that like to dress up like monsters. There are people that pretend to be knights and take on squires. There are people that essentially role-playing your own death is pretty much role-playing. We are still very much a LARP. We're just not very magical or special. We're just more physical and skill oriented.
The way that I would phrase it, I think, is we are LARP friendly or roleplay friendly, but the main aspect of what we do is a competitive sport, and it's just a competitive sport based around medieval combat.
Yeah.
Because in the heart of it, we all like winning with what we do. We all like being the best, and we all like getting better. And it's not the role playing that betters us; it's our technique and our experience and the time we spend practicing what we do. So it is like a sport in a sense.
Well, that's good. And you guys said that you guys have like competitive matches or competitive tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
And how does that go about? Like, is it like a little tree, or is it one-on-one? Or?
So there's different events that get held to facilitate our sport. Like there's camping events, there's day events, and you see I had an event. We throw an event quarterly, so like 4 times a year, 3 times a year. 4 times a year. And our Korriban event, which is a potluck, we host tournaments, and that's kind of people can come compete and see if they got better through their practicing during the week's regular practices. But there's bigger events known that if you win a tournament there, people know that you're pretty good, which is like the really big tournaments that have like 700 people that go to, like Battle for Ring here in Chino every January. That's
800 plus fighters.
Yeah, 800 plus fighters, and they come and compete. And there's different tournaments that they can do. Like there's different weapon classes that you can compete in.
Yeah.
And one of the most popular ones is sword and board, which is like just a sword and a shield.
Okay.
And that's one of the main tournaments people like competing in a lot, participating in. And it really there's no, I guess, over expanding like tournament or like ladder ranking of like who's the top fighter. It's more like how many events you can win tournaments in to get recognized as a good fighter.
A good way to
and there's also units that compete in tournaments as well. Like you can start a unit and there's like 4-man or 10-man fighting fighting matches against units are starting to become really popular. People are practicing.
So it's like 10 on 10.
Yeah, 10 on 10, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And a good way to think of these events is kind of like cons. So like Ronin Con that we did today is a day event. We come out here for the day, we have a lot of fun, but at the end of the day we pack up and go home.
Yeah.
And we have day events for our Bellegarde as well. And those are like potlucks, all kinds of different things like that. But then our like anime expos, our fanimes, which are multiple day events, are camping events.
Yeah.
Where we go to parks or forests or campsites, and we camp there, wake up in the morning, fight all day, do the tournaments, and then at night, we hang out, we relax, go to sleep, wake up, and do it all over again.
Yeah, and just like cons, there's an exhibit. There's an exhibit hall. Like sometimes there's some vendors that sell their.
It's a lot like a
wares.
Red Fair. That's why I can describe it as. But it's not centered around the medieval aspect. It's centered around the fighting aspect.
It's cool. You said you're going to Anime Expo. What is going to be a cosplay you unveil?
I'm not sure yet. To be honest, you know how every single cosplayer has a lineup? Most of the cosplayers have like a new cosplay to show off every single year. I am still kind of cheap, so I like to revisit my old cosplays. So I might have to do it. Revisit my old cosplays. They're still wearable.
So it still answers the question: what's the cosplay?
I am a Asuna cosplayer from Sword Art Online.
Okay.
And I am a Shiro cosplayer from New Game. Not New Game. I'm sorry. No Game, No Life. Sorry. I actually like an anime called New Game as well. I also do Sento Isuzu from Amagi Brilliant Park.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, so I also do Kyoko from Madoka Magica.
Is there any other current cosplay that you guys are currently working on that you guys are looking to unveil in the near future?
Well, I am working on one for AX. It is going to be this character, but in a more spoilery outfit. So I'm going to be debuting that at AX.
I'm trying to work on like a Splatoon cosplay. That's all I have planned.
Okay.
Well, I'm really big in the Legend of Galactic Heroes fandom, and recently it recently was given a reboot. So not only have I already started on some of the original designs from the 80s, this new wave of anime fans will recognize the new reboot. So me and my friends, we would like to make costumes of the new ones, and while also still maintaining our costumes of the original.
Are we gonna see Kirito at the AX or something unveiling?
I'm Kirito all year as far as anime cons are concerned.
Okay.
Anime Impulse, Anime LA, CoastCon in Costa Mesa, Anifest, Geekon, Anime Pasadena here, TitanCon.
TitanCon, that's like 2 weeks away.
Yes, and of course Anime Expo, and then let's see, Anime California.
Yes, Anime California. That's good.
Oh, every anime cons except for Super Dimension Convention, which is based on the Macross franchise, by the way.
I've never heard of that.
You familiar with Robotech?
No.
Well, anyway,
It sounds like a whole book of worms. A whole book can of worms.
One of the other questions is like, I know it's probably like a male-dominated, sport. Do you guys have like, what's your male and female ratio?
So, I would like to point out that the unit that we're in, the Sith of the Sith unit or order of First Order of the Sith. Yes, that's the full title. Sorry, we've gone through a name change.
That's a cool name though. Yeah, man, that's a pretty cool name.
We like to pride ourselves in being a very diverse and very open unit, and like he described, units are kind of like sports teams within our sport, where we have, I think, one of the most, the highest populations of females in our unit. And for instance, I would like to say that we actually had someone with us. Unfortunately, he was able to be here in this interview, but she is one of our unit members. A lot of our friends and significant others are also part of the unit as well. So yes, we ourselves are very diverse and open, but you're absolutely right. The sport itself, it's dominated not only by males, but like more people of the same color.
Same color. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? You say color, but when you say that, it's a very loaded.
It is very loaded, yeah. I guess because the origins of the sport came from the Midwest and East Coasts.
Yeah.
There's a lot more Caucasian fighters out there than there are fighters of color.
Okay. While that might be true, especially in the West Coast, you see so much diversity. I mean, I've only been experiencing events in the West Coast. I haven't noticed that at all. I've noticed fighters of all colors and creeds, I mean, it's actually really cool. You see people being who they want. And, with us, it doesn't matter. It's all about, who you are as a person. I mean, if you're cool...
The sport's becoming very progressive. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
West Coast, West Coast.
I think that's awesome. I mean, we have people who identify as transgender or non-binary, and to us, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just all about how you treat the community itself, how you treat the people in the community.
And in the end of the day, how well do you hold a stick and beat someone else up with it?
Yeah. And to add on to that, it might be male-dominated, but there are some incredibly badass female fighters in this sport.
Yes, I would have seen.
And it's awesome. I mean, there's a house called the Valkyries, and it's just female fighters.
Yeah,
kick ass.
Are you guys ever like intimidated when you're fighting at like a female, or
depends on who?
Is she gonna hit me really hard? And I'm like, oh.
I'm a man of equal opportunity and equality. I believe any person deserves to be hit just as hard.
Okay, so here's my last question. Where do you guys see yourself in like 5 years from now? But what do you guys hope to accomplish?
With the
Maybe
sport?
let's answer this individually.
When it comes to cons, we really like pulling people from cons and getting them in the sport. That's actually a really great place to pull from. So I can see us as this realm. I can see us, going to con and getting the word out and helping our whole entire company, I guess,
sport organization
to grow a lot more by doing that. And we just started going to cons.
Yeah, this is our first year going through the con tour.
Yeah, we went to ALA already, Fanny up north. We've been I guess TimeCon too.
NFS. All this,
so
we're pretty much hitting.
And Ronin Con.
Ronin Expo.
Yeah. And people are recognizing us. They're like, hey, it's you guys. Like, we saw you like at Fanny.
Yeah,
we
it's
saw you
always
at
good to
ALA.
get, recognized, get the name out there.
And people love our panels too.
Yeah. Cross, do you have any 5-year plans?
Yeah, so as was stated earlier, I started to practice and I've been putting a lot of hard work and time, and I have this goal that I want it to be the best practice in California. And like, it's a really, really new practice. We've only had it for a year and we probably have a higher average number than most realms do in California right now. And it's always highly praised now, but I always strive to have it better. So that's my goal.
That's good. That's good.
I'm pretty new to the sport. I've only been doing this for about 5 months, but because of the community, because of the people who I've met in the sport, I wanted to throw myself in. And I'm also now someone who leads the run that he started, and I'm someone who helps him with the tasks of keeping it organized and keeping it running. And I want to make this realm the best that it can be. And I also want this sport to grow as a whole. And thanks to these guys over here, we can go to the cons and we can, we come to these cons to promote our community and promote our sport. And I want to make it grow and become something that's like common knowledge, oh hey, you guys want to catch a LARP practice? You guys want to go to Bellegarth, after school or something? Like, I want it to be something that everyone talks about.
Kind of like esports were back in the day.
That's exactly what I want. I want this to
like very competitive, prize money and stuff like that. So
that's exactly what
huge potential.
Yeah, with our tournament system, there's prizes you can win, like feels incentive, like cool weapons, cool shields, garb, like what we're wearing.
I want it to grow just like esports did. That's a great comparison.
Yeah, that's great.
For me, I'm a businessman, and my friends here, we're starting like a company for building, these Bellegarth legal weapons, and because I'm a giant anime nerd, I wanted them to be more anime looking, like to the anime, like make them look like anime weapons, and Rufio here has the same vision. But for me, I want Bellegarth. For me, where I see myself, I want to be like at all the cons, and I want to be like in the exhibitor hall. I want to be at AX, like just have a stall and just have all these weapons, just like being sold, and I have like a room. I think I'll let Daryl let you know, but like we want Bellegarth to be like a mainstream thing.
All right, so it comes down to me. Pretty much. A lot of the things that these wonderful people have said, I share entirely with. I love the sports. I've done 7 years into it, and I can say I'm willing to spend 5 more years. What I see myself doing with this group of people is, one, continue to work with the Thursday group. So while they are the Thursday group, I'm in charge of the Wednesday practices, where it's the more veteran, the more competitive aspects of the sport. And, we want to definitely get better and better out there. So we're trying to encourage, people from Thursday, as soon as, they feel ready, come in and start hitting harder with us. As Matt Kip said over here, we're looking to start a business, shameless plug, Unlimited Foamworks.
We'll throw in at the end, don't worry.
Awesome. Pretty much like Matt Kiff said, I just wanted to start seeing cool looking anime weapons out there. I've already made things such as a kunai. I even made a Contra and Bakuya from the Fate series that I'm currently cosplaying right now. I've made very cool aesthetic looking weapons throughout my time, and now I think I'm ready to start a business with it, and so I want to pursue that. And finally, something that I want to add is, as a personal goal, I'm currently actually in the process of becoming a knight. A knight in our community is someone who essentially embodies Bellegarde, someone that can talk to people and tell them what it is about, someone that can build weapons, build their own armor, and also can fight like a badass. So essentially you're trying to cover all of the aspects of the sport, and that is something that I'm looking to do. So I'm currently in my squireship with my knight. I've been in the squireship for about half a year now, and hopefully I get it done sooner than later. But hopefully I get it done within the 5 years at least. But yeah, those are pretty much the goals that I share. I think actually a lot of people share within this group as well as within the community, just wanting the whole thing to grow and become big.
Well, that's great.
One more thing. I guess I have one more thing to add on. I want foam fighting to be like a mainstream thing at cons in terms of like there's always a maid cafe and then there's always like a gaming room that's like all day. I want a room in like every con where it's just all day, just like foam fighting. Like we'll just have referees like throughout the day and just every con just like hit it.
Every con be a Bell event.
Yeah. Make anime cons Bell events.
Yeah, I was once telling him how I was just looking through like a schedule thing, and I told him I want us to be on that page, like by name, like on that page. And and that's the kind of recognition that we want, and we're right now working hard to get it.
We just started this year.
That's good, guys. That's good. That's going to conclude our interview. Thank you guys for coming on. Shoot your shameless plugs out.
So I want to shoot out one right now. Every Wednesday and Thursday from 6:30 to 10 at Twyla Reed Park in Anaheim. It is on Orange and Western. We have our practice, and it's every week. Wednesday is for competitive fighting. It's where you go when you want to get really good and you want to get your skills honed. And Thursday is where you go when you want to have fun, when you want to relax and just play some silly games, but it's still the same sport, If you guys ever want to come out, feel free. It's free 100%. We have weapons for everyone to use. Just bring athletic gear and bring a good attitude.
It's great. If you guys want to beat someone up with a stick, a foam stick, a foam stick, and have a good time, you guys heard of Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Thank you. Thanks guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you again for having us.
Do you guys have like a YouTube and Instagram?
I have
MySpace.
I have Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is Enji Koi. That's ENJIKOI. And then my Twitter handle is Stars of the Seas altogether.
That's cool.
I have a Twitter account that I mostly just put my art in. It's called Muffin Daydream. That's all it is.
And then I have both an Instagram and an art Twitter. Art Twitter, I'm more on. It's going to be Mythlica. It's going to be MYTHLICA.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming on. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you again at the next convention.
Also, just one more thing I want to add. Although I can honestly say that, of course, all the animes like Digimon, Pokemon, we all been through that. And also, I grew up around the anime world since I have my cousins who are into it, so.
Well, we always have that one person that's into it and tries to push it on you to get into it.
Well, it's not really. It's just like if you have like a sibling or any other family members who are into anime, then you have a 50-50 chance that you
I can see that.
getting into it. Anyway, so if you have Instagram, please follow me. It spells DANLUONG 8.
Well, I think that's all the time we have. My name is
Victor.
There we go. And if you want to give out a shout out or your Instagram, Twitter, MySpace.
I'm not very social media heavy. I guess my Instagram is Kennet Chu, KENNETCHU, and shout out to all my friends and my family who support me in everything that I do.
Thank you again for coming on. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
We hope you enjoyed the convention today. Hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Yeah, of course. I'll always support Danny. I love RONIN EXPO.
that's about wrap it up for us. If you have any Twitter handles, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, LiveJournal.
So make sure you go and check out CoastCon. That's CoastCon. For my personal self, I go by Kitty Temtem, which is Kitty Temtem Cosplays. That's Kitty TEM. Okay, it was my username, like my old email handle in like the 6th grade. You can't blame me. It was catchy. I kept it, but just go ahead and check it out, and that's about it.
All right, you heard her. Kitty Temtem. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Are we good? Good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That was fun. Fun.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe to insert name here. Or find more right here. Find more right here. Oh my god.